Hi, I am Jada Ackerman, and I grew up in the same small town that I am raising my children in. And I think from the time that I was old enough to remember, I've been paying attention to the small details in my community. I've always found myself noticing out-of-state license plates parked in front of stores, new faces that might be walking on the street, and new businesses that are popping up, and even new products and services that are being offered in and around my community. I've always been intrigued by community development. I enjoy seeing my community benefit from hard work and dedication, from people pulling together towards a common goal, and then celebrating those successes and accomplishments. I also have a deep appreciation for change. I don't always like it, but I do appreciate it. I think, as we all can agree, sometimes change is good, and sometimes it can present challenges to us. But one thing is inevitable: change is going to happen. And we can either embrace it and point it in the direction that we want it to go, or we can completely let it consume us and drop us where it may. My grandfather was born in 1917, and he was a second-generation farmer. And back in those days, he went to school until 4th grade. By that point, he had learned the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. That was all he needed to know to go back home to that family farm to work the land. And that's exactly what my grandpa did until his passing in the early 90s. During that time, he saw a lot of changes, and I'm sure you can imagine, from starting out with horses and moving to tractors and plows. To him, farming wasn't work. It was just a way of life. And he tried to instill that value into all of his children and grandchildren. And I think back to all those changes that he saw, and I look at where our changes are going now, and I'm pretty sure he didn't see anything like we're seeing today. No longer is a 4th grade education acceptable. Our youth today are going out and earning 2-year, 4-year degrees, sometimes even masters, to come back home to work the land. So what's changed? I think an acceptable term is pretty much everything. From us, we've changed. Our land has changed. Our needs have changed. And I believe that our advancements in technology are really helping to drive those changes. From smartphones and tablets to GPS units and RFID tags. It's no surprise that my grandfather's ways have become completely obsolete. Technology is impacting our rural communities in very positive ways. While we once fought with the outward migration of our youth, I think we're starting to see trends now of our youth coming back home. I look back at my high school graduating class, and 41% have moved back home to this area to raise their families. And I look at the employees and staff at Blue Valley Telecommunications right here, and we're at 93% local. So that screams volumes to me about the value that we're placing on the quality of life. We recognize that, and we want to share that and give that back to our families. And I believe that technology is playing a significant role in this. Jobs that we weren't able to do 10 years ago from rural America can now be done anywhere that we have a broadband connection. Educational opportunities that we once had to find in big schools are now being deployed to our rural classrooms via that broadband connection. Our local farmers and ranchers, they're also benefiting from these advancements. From our small hobby farmers to our full-time operations, they all have one thing in common, and that's broadband is aiding them in their efforts. I've heard time and time again from our hobby farmers that advancements in technology are enabling them to monitor their crops and their livestock. They're able to buy and sell competitively at livestock auctions during their lunch hours. So that means that they don't have to give up that security of their 8 to 5 income in order to do what they love. But I also hear from our full-time farmers that they're able to market their products and services globally. So that's helping them to stay on the farm and avoid having to go find that 8 to 5 job. It's all thanks to broadband and our technological advancements. In September last year, Blue Valley, along with the communities that it serves, was honored with the recognition of Smart Rural Communities from NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association. This distinction highlights what we've done and what all of us here are doing today. We're building relationships and collaborating with one another in an effort to keep rural America moving forward. It's not just Blue Valley. It's about all of us. Blue Valley is one of the companies, just one of many companies throughout the United States who has a strong focus on communities. Many of us in this room were formed in an effort to instigate change and drive community economic development. That's what we're doing here today. That's why every one of us made the effort to drive here for just a few hours. We're all working to find ways to work together, to collaborate with one another, to form partnerships, to make rural America more efficient. So whether it's farming, ag, manufacturing, technology, we're all working hand in hand on this. I kind of think we're like a big puzzle. And if one of those pieces isn't in place, the picture's a little bit distorted. We've got technology empowering our farms and our manufacturing industries. Those industries provide jobs to our families who send their children to rural schools. Those rural schools depend on technology in order to provide the opportunities in the classrooms. We've got those people depending on our rural hospitals to provide health care. Those hospitals depend on technology to connect with larger hospitals in order to provide the services that they need, to connect with specialists. Hospitals with advanced technology attract younger doctors. Younger doctors bring with them their families. And all of these people are purchasing services and goods from our local businesses and our local farms. If we take away one of those pieces of the puzzle, we risk several other pieces falling out. It's a team effort. Shopping locally, supporting our farms and businesses, and pursuing the development and deployment of technological advances is where it starts. And that's us right here today. It's the first step in accomplishing that. So, today we're going to meet and share ideas and concepts all for the sake of the future, but not our future, the future of generations to come. So that way, in 50 years, when children are all grown up and they're standing here on a podium looking out to an audience of their peers, they can look back and say, wow, my grandparents saw a lot of change in their life, and they really pushed the development of technology in agriculture. But man, they haven't seen any changes like we're seeing today.